All right, and we are live. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon. Good night. Let's see who else we got in here. I think I got Al in here.
What's up, Cody?
What's going on? I got Dan in here.
Hey,
how's it going?
What's going on?
How you like this new music that I found?
Yeah, is that you?
It's so you can do it through the streaming platform. It's kind of cool, right?
Nice.
Epic music. Yeah, Talent Dragon loves this. Cool. Yeah, I had to make sure it was not copyrighted music so we don't get striked off of YouTube. So hopefully this works out. Super excited for today. I've been going through the projects. Team's been going through the projects. You guys have done an amazing job, creating your final projects. We picked a few for today that, we just wanted to go through. We'll be having more of these, and we lowered music quite a bit as time goes on. But for today, we just picked out some that really stood out for us. And we're super excited to get started today. We're going to start in a few minutes. So basically how this is going to run down. And definitely, share this out on Twitter, share this out on Discord, invite your friends, and we're going to get started in just a few minutes. We're going to be bringing on 5 different students. They're going to have 10 minutes each. They're going to go through and explain their project to us, tell us a little bit about themselves, and then we'll have some time for some questions. And then at the very end, I'll do a quick snippet of kind of like what's next for everyone. Because this is definitely not the final step in your journey in Web3 development. With that said, I will get started with bringing on our first guest or student, which is Kethic. And I will bring him on now. How's it going?
Hi. How you doing?
How are you? And is it better to go by Kethic or
you can use Kethic. Kethic is fine.
Kethic is good. Okay, great.
It's my crypto identity for now. So.
That's great. Yeah, we gotta be a little careful with what we share in this
Nah,
crypto.
it wouldn't be the end of the world, but it's always good to keep your irons in the appropriate fires.
Definitely agree.
So.
I'll be sharing Kethic's Twitter below if you want to get in contact with him afterwards. And so with that, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, Kethic, and before we get started.
I'm an embedded engineer. I work in hardware and firmware as my day job. So I spend a lot of time really close to the hardware. I picked up, wanted to come back into the crypto ecosystem about 18 months ago, and I was fortunate enough to be selected as in a mentorship with Kelvin from Optimism, where we did a deep dive into EVM. We finished it rather quickly, just probably because of my familiarity with traditional hardware. And then I've been doing a lot of dog fooding projects with him in the background over the last year.
Very cool.
Outside of that, just trying to ramp up because I'm in hardware a lot. Software is a pretty software advances quickly, so I'm trying to catch up. And that's part of Alchemy University is getting me up to speed. So very much appreciate the program here.
So we actually know Kelvin from when we started ChainShot years ago. Yeah. I think we used some of his initial plasma designs for a project that we originally did. I severely underestimated the complexity of it at the time. And I'm glad we ripped out that tutorial after about 3 months when we realized it's too hard to try to get people through it.
Yeah, Kelvin grasps things, incredibly complex things, very intuitively. It's fun trying to get to suss out an understanding from what he understands natively.
For sure.
So.
Cool. Well, with that, we'll hand you the floor here. Feel free to go through your project, and then we'll open it up for questions to the chat and ourselves afterwards.
Yeah. So I've always been told to start presentations with jokes. So
Nice.
2 bites meet. The first bite kind of looks at him and asks, "Are you ill?" And the second bite replies, "No, I'm just feeling a bit off." Yeah, nice. Thank you. I'm here for another 4 minutes, so run while you can. My project was I wanted to make a game, and the problem I wanted a blockchain game, and blockchain games are expensive because when you do things on the blockchain, it costs money. Every transaction costs a transaction fee and gas. I wanted one of the puzzles in the game to be a bytecode type puzzle, just because I think bytecode is fun, if you couldn't tell. There's something empowering about stripping away the layers of abstraction and just sort of playing with the bits and bytes down here, where because it's physical reality down there eventually. So the EVM itself is actually a very simple machine. There's no registers, there's no cache, there's no execution pipelines. It's just a stack and some memory and some storage. This was the PDP-8 was more complex. So in that regard, it's easy to work on. Yeah, we wrap some transaction metadata around it because we have. Sorry, the dogs are being noisy. Come on, YouTube. Calm down. I have a couple corgis.
I thought someone was like doing some woodworking or something.
No, I have 2 little corgis, and of course they're quiet all morning until now. Anyway, so yeah, it's very easy to work with. The only thing that actually costs money is changing storage. It doesn't cost anything to ask for information from the blockchain. It also doesn't really ask anything to ask the global computer to execute some code for us, as long as we don't touch storage. And storage is really expensive. I think it's the current ETH is mooning right now, and the current price is like 1 megabyte costs about 50K of storage on chain right now. And that's not a fun game. If you're trying to play this game and you have to pay money like that. So I tried a couple of different approaches, and none were really a good experience. I needed something that was fast, cheap, preferably free, and I needed to be on chain because I wanted to use static call from the rest of my game's contracts to talk to this. You can't run assembly code. You can't just assemble and run byte code as strings and Solidity. There's the verbatim command, but it requires static strings. You can't just assemble them and hack them together. So that meant I needed my own execution engine, and that's where. Okay, let's see if sharing actually works. That's where VEVM came from. Is in particular, I wanted to. I'm sure that it's a virtual machine in a virtual machine. It's software pretending to be software, pretending to be hardware. I'm sure somewhere Geth is running inside a virtual machine too. So it might just be VMs the whole way down. But you take my point. And so this is I threw together a contract that pretended to be it. Now I can take some liberties with it because I don't actually have to be the EVM. I can just be the effective state of the EVM. So, for instance, storage is an interesting thing. This is the thing that matters. I can put it in memory and pretend to be storage while keeping it in memory, and that allows anything that interacts with storage to remain as a view or a pure. So that's actually the core conceit of this, is that there's one external function called execute, and it is a view, and every function inside this contract is a view or a pure function. If I need to talk to something that is storage, then I just do it in memory, and I keep it local, and it all gets deleted when execute ends. When you send something into the front end, we'll play. Everybody wants to see me write bytecode right now, so I don't know. What do we want to do today?
Could you maybe zoom in on that just a little bit more?
I could try. Yeah, I see. What do we got?
That's much better.
There we go.
Yeah, so I pushed a couple things to the stack, and I don't know. What do we want to do? We want to duplicate them, maybe. So we got, or it's not dupe. What is dupe? Dupe is I need to give.
Could you explain how that breaks up into bytecodes? What you just typed in there for people not aware?
Oh, okay. So there's a push command. Push is actually one of the most complicated commands. So let's start with something simple like 30. So these are 2 hex characters. I should be prefixing it with 0x because that means it's a hex representation. But I stripped that off, and so you can do it with or without. And 30 is an opcode. So it comes in as call data, and I parse it out. You can actually split call data into arrays. You can't do that with memories or bytes or anything like that. So I go in and I say, which hex code is 30? I go down and I say, hey, look, 30 is address. And I go find the function that's address somewhere down here. And address, in this case, goes out and just goes and gets the address. Like, what's the address of this contract right now? It literally uses the EVM to return the real data. And then that comes back up here. So I run 30, I say execute code data, and then I get the results back. I parse it apart up here into a data structure, and then we make it pretty, and then we render it out to this block here. So in this case, that's actually the currently deployed address of the contract. The push command is unique in that you append data with it. So if I say 6010 here, it's going to put something like, it's going to put 10 into the stack. But if I wanted to do 2 bytes, it'd need to be 61. I'll do just so it's clear. So there's some complexity with dealing with. It's the only opcode that sticks data in there. Otherwise, everything is just 2 hex nibbles. And it just runs down. If you make a mistake, I sort of error out. Like if I don't think 55 does something. 39 does something. We'll go with C0 for now. C0 doesn't do anything either, but doesn't do anything, but it tries to. So this ends it. And that's all I'm doing is I'm taking your bytecode and sending it on out, executing it on this back end and emulating it in memory. And we can get rid of this, the memory or whatever. So it moved it over from the stack to memory, and I forget. This is just the standard return from memory to get things back out. I probably type out something there.
This is awesome. I just want to quickly say,
we're probably running out of time.
No. I'm going to give everyone an extra 5 minutes. Everyone presenting. I realize 10 minutes is a little too short, so I'll leave it at that. Everyone starting 5 minutes later and gets another 5 minutes.
Well, no, this pretty much covers it. So, the code is on GitHub, and we're making sure that the front end and the back end are both there. I need to give a shout out to Alita. I gave her programmer front end, and she made it beautiful. And so I met her through Ethernet DAO. Those are my appropriate shout outs here to Alita at Ethernet DAO. So feel free to stop by and say hi. And she deserves immense kudos for a lot of the work. She made everything flashy and shiny and fun. But yeah, so we, you can dig into the spec, and they detail all the opcodes here, exactly how they work. I believe they give it in Go code or Pythonic or something. I don't know this one. But so a lot of this, I just duplicated this in the EVM, and it's very easy to just pull it in and reproduce it. And it's not all of them are done. I can't do call, I can't do delegate call because those are storage modifiers. And things like logs, I'm not going to pull in a log because log takes too long to type. But logs are not part of the EVM; they're part of the transaction that's wrapped around the back of the receipt route. All the metadata that wraps a transaction as opposed to modifying the EVM. But for the most part, it's a pretty naive implementation of a one-shot execution of an EVM transaction. And that's so that I can then give you guys puzzles in this game that says, instead of saying write exactly the bytecode I envision, I can say, go solve this problem and give me the answer I want in whatever creative way you can come up with, which was really the initial incentive. I didn't want to be playing hangman. I wanted to be, encouraging people to be creative. And it does feel like a superpower writing in bytecode, and I want everybody to experience that.
Kethic, have you thought about this front-end tool that you built right here as being like a helpful learning tool for somebody learning EVM? And would you suggest, like, from your experience of learning EVM, would you suggest somebody like playing around with opcodes in here and trying it out like that?
I think that there is some value here. I need to develop it a little bit further. In particular, the opcodes themselves translate to mnemonics, and those mnemonics don't translate well into Solidity code, and most people are going to be working in Solidity. That said, mnemonics and bytecode flip-flop to Huff very nicely, and I could see if somebody wanted to start developing in Huff. I'm trying to actually update this front end to do some live regexing between two that'll do mnemonic to bytecode. That's alpha. That's not done yet. It's not working yet. But I want to eventually have assembler disassembler in here, so that when you type in one, it'll show the other, and you can actually learn how that stuff works. I think it's really good for understanding. If you go out and look at a contract, like you go out and find a deployment, even if we go out to Etherscan now, and we say, here's where this deployed, and we can say, during the transaction that we executed this on, what happened here? What happened when we deployed this contract? We wrote some memory to 80, we wrote a value to 80, we wrote a value to 40, we pushed it to memory. I forget what 34 is. But I know that we're jumping around a bit. We're checking if something is 0. I think it's is 0 actually for code sizes. Then we've got the jump here. We skip over to the revert here. There's our jump pointer, and then we go out and then we finish the deployment. And then there's the actual bytecode after your F3. Here's the actual contract. It starts right here. So actually being able to go out and look at this and say, what is this doing? Go grab this, paste it in there. It doesn't fully work because I think 57 is broken right now. So things I have to fix. But you can go in and say, hey, this is actually how a contract deploys. This is what create does. Create puts this thing up front, checks for some zeros, checks for values. That's what it is. It was getting value. That's what before is, isn't it? It's a call value. And then here's the actual bytecode of the contract. So I think there is value in digging through that.
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. I think Alderian is speaking all of our minds right now by saying he is reading bytecode live. This is amazing.
You have time in it.
Superpower.
Well, it's I definitely I favor hardware, so this is my happy place.
Makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Now you got to write a Solidity compiler inside of a contract, and then compile that down to bytecode.
So one of the problems with call and a delegate call is that they need to execute on a blockchain. But it'd be interesting to put a blockchain in a contract. So we can have multiple VVMs on this virtual blockchain. Anyway, I don't know if that'll ever happen, but this could be a rabbit hole that goes on forever.
So for your game, Not Your Keys, right? That's the name of work where like essentially you would give a puzzle in bytecode and someone would have to solve it by supplying bytecode, or what?
So the way that's set up.
Hey guys, I'm sorry. I need to cut it off.
Cut it off. We're gonna go.
Forever. Let's keep questions to Discord. Everyone, Kethic, thank you so much. Reach him out on Kethcode. He's developing a game as well. Check that out. Follow him. Catch him in Discord. I see us using this in some way, maybe in the future. It's an educational tool. But yeah, thank you for your time.
And let me know how I can modify it to be a learning tool that you need. So
sounds great. Thanks, man. Take it easy.
Thanks,
All right. Next, we have up. Sorry to cut you off there, Dan. I know how these go. We could be talking to we could be talking to a student for an hour.
No, that was fascinating. I didn't want to stop him while he was talking. I had so many questions.
Yeah, I figured. Okay, cool. So next we have Lorenzo and Janeiro. How's it going, guys?
Let's go.
Hello, all fine.
Everything
We are Lorenzo and Janeiro from Italy. And so a short introduction. I work in automotive and in particular for Mercedes-Benz. And in here I take care of infotainment system. So, and as an hobby, I'm trying to make my way on blockchain development. So that's all for my side. And Lorenzo.
I'm a backend developer in Java. I do every day. Every day I work in a pharmaceutical company from a backend side of the company, and also as me as a Gennaro, I'm very attracted by the Web3 world, and I would love to become a worker in this context, but who will know? We will see. I leave Gennaro the word for the presentation.
Okay, so I can share the screen.
Yeah.
And okay.
So should be able to share, and then I'll pull.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, I'm adding it right now.
Okay. So our project is based on a MadLib game, and our idea was to base this game on NFT. So we tried to create this MadLib's game on chain, and this game is can be defined as a community based game, because we have 3 layers of interaction of community in participating in this game. So the first interaction, the first layer of interaction is the user that will mint this NFT. So the act of minting this NFT require to user to insert some sort of sentences, and then the idea was that the user have to think about some blanks in these phrases that can be ambiguous and can lead the curiosity of other user to insert a proposal and participate, filling these blanks in this NFT. So this NFT is based on an SVG. So we have this text as an attribute in our smart contract, and then we convert this as an image, and then so we save the real image on the chain with the text. So this is the first interaction, the user that will insert this NFT with the phrases. The second interaction is now the community that participate in this game. So in this case, so a user have to fill these 3 blanks with the 3 words that will replace these blanks. So in this layer of interaction, we have multiple users that will insert their proposal, and then these lead to the third interaction from community. So we have all the list of these proposal inserted by the user, and then the community. So the same user that insert proposal, or the same user that mint the NFT, can now vote all the proposal inserted by the community. So now in this phase, we count the proposal with the most vote, and this proposal with the most vote from community will be the winner proposal. So this proposal, the winner one, will replace the blanks in these phrases. So for example, if we imagine that this proposal will be the winner one, the final NFT will be this one. So the words inserted by the user will replace that blanks. And the image, the text of the NFT that initially was with this hashtag that represents the blanks, these hashtags will be replaced by the actual words. So the text of final NFT will be rendered as an SVG in with the winner proposal. So now, if we can go on our front end. This is the last medley. So I think that I forgot to mention is that this game is thinked as a round game. So for example, every week or every days will be inserted one NFT. So it's meant to exist one NFT open at time. So, for example, now we have this NFT open.
Sorry, we doesn't see your screen, Janeiro. We
Thank you for saying.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. No, we will see. We saw the presentation, but the live app now. No.
Can you see the app?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Now it's working. Yeah.
Okay. I shared only the first app. So this is the front end of the application, and as I said, you can play with the one NFT at time. So we think the game as based on a round. So this is the last NFT that is open, and now the community, if people that are following us can go on this site and insert their proposal. So here there is the NFT, and here there is the pop-up that in which you can insert your proposal. I inserted just a few minutes ago my proposal. So this is my proposal, and as I said, I can vote my own proposal, and this lead to a transaction. I confirm that one. Okay, maybe hope this will be Not so slow. Oh, okay. So now, if I can show proposal, okay. For now, I have only this proposal with one vote. So this is obviously will be the winner one. So if now you can see we have these blanks in the NFT. If I close Mad Libs, my proposal was the only one with the one vote, so is the winner. My proposal will replace these blanks. Hope the transaction will be not so slow. Okay.
Just so you know, Janeiro, like your screen is very, very wide, so it's hard for us to see nearly as much as you.
Yes.
Just
Maybe.
Yeah, you can zoom out.
56 inch super wide.
Better now.
This is a lot better.
Much better.
Okay. Okay, sorry guys. And so as you see, my proposal, which was the two words force and Yoda, replaced the blank. So this is the final NFT. The idea now is that the user that mints this NFT will own this NFT, but we have in mind other approval for that. And on this, maybe I can leave the words to Lorenzo. And,
just to show you our next steps. So first of all, we, as Gennaro said, we want to tokenize the NFT. So at the end of each Mad Lib, we can encourage users to interact with our game. So we can give we want to give them a reward. So in this way, as well as the miner or also the address of the best proposal. Or the voters can have a reward to the final NFT. They can have a part of the final NFT. So we want to tokenize this NFT. And then another thing we want to do is to make the contract proxy upgradable. So we can implement new features without losing the original address, so all the history of the game, and of course, as you saw, the UI isn't nothing special. So we want to make the UI more attractive, and but in our defense, as we said, we are backend developers in our everyday life, so. The front-end development has been a challenge for us. So, but we improved our skills. So we are now ready to make a better UI. Yeah, I think that's all. Thank you for your time. And if you have a question, feel free to ask.
So if you're a front-end developer out there, you might have some friendly teammates that are looking for somebody to use. I thought it looked okay. I thought it looked good. Did you guys use Scaffold ETH on that?
Yeah.
No,
yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. How long do I have for questions, Cody?
Yeah, we have 4 minutes.
4 minutes. Okay. So I just have a question for you guys actually on the governance. What did you use for governance? Did you use like the Open Zeppelin governor standard, or how did you get that set up?
Yeah, we use Open Zeppelin standards for the for the token counter and so on. I can share the code maybe.
Yes, we use also the ownable contract because in our mind, as I said, we can have one NFT at weeks, and this NFT can be closed by the owner of the contract and the owner of the NFT. And we decide to do in this way because maybe to avoid stacking in games. For example, some user that mint the NFT and then we'll never close that, we'll stack this game. So to avoid this loop, we decide that also the owner of the contract can close the NFT.
Oh, cool.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Now we at this moment we have two main files. We have done a library In this library, we put all the pure functions as a string manipulation, as this one for replacing the placeholders, or the render or the SVG token, and all these functions are pure. So we deployed a library and then linked in the deploy phase the contract to this library. And the contract is there is nothing special, but you have all the functions that you saw in the demo about the proposal, and nothing special. We want to make this upgradable and implement new features like the standard, the tokenized NFT that will be, in my opinion, a great thing to encourage people to play our game.
Super cool. Yeah, wait. Did you guys end up using that subgraph for your UI that you had in there in the folder?
The front end part, we started from a template, because scaffold give us the base part of the front end, and
cool. Were you using that to index the governor events? Is that how you were listening for like proposals and things like that?
At this moment, we don't use events, but maybe is a feature that we can.
Yes, this will be a great addiction, because for now we have to manually check all the updates. So this is another things that maybe we can not. Maybe we have to add. For now, we have much time, much free time, so we check manually a new update.
Did you say it would be a great addiction? Just last question, but is that how you phrased it?
I think addition.
Oh, I'm like, oh, okay. No, he's really focused on that bug. I love it.
That was a really great project, guys. Thank you so much for presenting.
Thank you, guys.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah, I really loved all the different pieces of tech that you guys kind of pulled into it. When I saw it, when I was reviewing it, I was like, this would be a really cool one to just show off. So thank you so much for your time. Again, their Twitters are below, and we'll share out everyone's information as I like that, right? We'll consolidate everything as people present, so the community can kind of get more information, learn more about you. But yeah, thank you so much for you guys' presentation, and great work on your project.
Grazie. Thank you guys. Thank you for
Grazie.
Grazie.
Forza Napoli, non so se.
Bye-bye.
Yeah,
awesome.
String manipulation and Solidity, they are gluttons for punishment. That was cool. I like that.
All right, next we have up a old-time favorite. We have Nico. Nico's been in our community for quite some time, and he is here to showcase another project. And who is your is it Mr. Biscuit? Is that your teammate? Cool. Pulling in Mr. Biscuit.
Right. Yo.
Hey, Mr. Biscuit.
What's going on?
How you guys doing today? Even though I already talked to Nico for a few minutes earlier, but.
Well, Mr. Biscuit also rocking the t-shirt.
Yeah, I got to rock that merch.
Looks good. Looks good in that light. Also, shout out Nico has been like a super long-standing extreme member of every community we've ever been in. So Nico's the best.
He was joking that he's going to haunt me for eternity.
Yeah, I was joking with Cody that I'll be back every year until I'm like 85, you know, I'm in my coffin.
Well, guys, give out some short introductions here and tell us about your project. We'll give you the floor.
Yeah, sure. So let me just share my screen now.
One thing I just want to shout out real quick about this team right here is a like 4 or 5 guys, and I thought that was just really interesting. And would love to hear you guys' thoughts as you're going through this of like how you worked with all those people. I think it's something that's really important as people are building out the portfolios.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a big and really fun part of this project. Can you see my slides now?
Yep.
Yes, we can.
Yeah. Okay, so this is the app that we built, a peer-to-peer settlement app that you can use on your mobile phone. This was our team. We had 5 people all together. My first name's Menge, Gabriel is co-presenting here, Anmol and Rishikesh. Rishikesh and Anmol are students. Gabriel is a former chef. Menge is an engineer, and I'm a nasty lawyer. So that was the group of people who came together here. I was a little bit worried in the beginning whether we're going to actually make this work and how to coordinate things. I mean, certainly but also, the others haven't worked in operational software teams before, and we came together and we actually said the teamwork worked very, very well, very actually. And I think one of the reasons is we came together, we had daily stand-ups, and we said, okay, guys, this is only going to work if we work together very, very well. So if we focus on the product, but we don't focus on teamwork, we are going to output less what we can do individually. If we focus on teamwork and maybe just forget about the product, we're going to probably output more than the sum of us individually. And in our daily stand-ups, we actually assessed how we were working together and checked in, is it going well? Are there any issues? And how can we actually work together better, prioritize things, coordinate things, communicate throughout the day? And I think that really paid off in terms of what we managed to do in such a short space of time, but also simply in terms of what we learned from each other, and certainly for me, just the reward of seeing how that team functioned together. It was real teamwork, and it was really fun to do. This is what we tackled. We tackled like the classic problem of every single transaction: counterparty risk. Biggest problem out there for every transaction. What happens if you perform, the other party doesn't? You're screwed. Big problem. You can sue. You can all try all kinds of other things, but you're in the long grass once that happens. We have, of course, huge institutions to deal with this problem. Don't read these slides because there's a little bit too much text. I'm going to tell you how the normal institutions work. We work with a middleman called the central counterparty. And what essentially happens if you settle trades on the financial markets is both parties transfer their assets, so funds on the one side and the securities or other assets on the other side. They transfer that to a middleman. That middleman is called the central counterparty. And once the central counterparty has received the assets from both sides, he crosses those over, across to the other side, and the transaction settles. If one of the parties doesn't transfer its assets, then the middleman takes the assets of the other side that did perform and gives it back to him, right? So, that's safe. You don't lose your assets if the other side doesn't perform. The transaction only settles if both sides perform. Now, this very simple mechanism requires a huge infrastructure involving clearing houses, common security deposits, banks, brokers, and other intermediaries. And all of the ledgers of those intermediaries need to be reconciled. It's huge overhead, very inefficient, very costly, very slow. It takes days to settle these transactions. I mean, in the financial markets, they're proud of T+2, right? T+2 is like time plus 2 days, not 2 seconds, which is, for blockchain standards, really, really lousy 2 days. The big use case, I mean, for me, one of the biggest use cases of blockchain, and it's really simple and it's really powerful, is just DVP settlement. And it enables you to do away with all of that overhead, all of that inefficiency, like 100 lines of code, like nothing. And you can secure safe transactions, DVP settlement, delivery versus payment with zero counterparty risk. Extremely powerful use case. So that's what we did. We built this simple but very powerful app, DV settlement of peer-to-peer OTC transactions in digital assets. What do I mean by OTC? That is like over the counter, meaning outside of an exchange. So if you trade on an exchange, decentralized exchange or other exchange, the assets that you trade are settled on that exchange. So, things are supposed to function properly. This is for trades outside of an exchange. So, bilateral peer-to-peer trades. Imagine, for instance, you have someone on the other side of the globe and you want to buy an NFT from that party outside of the context of an exchange. How do you settle that transaction in a way that you make sure that you get what you agreed? That's what this is for. Now you can use that to buy an NFT from someone on the other side of the globe, but you can also use it to buy tokenized real-world assets, securities, bonds, fractionalized real estate. Energy is being tokenized. Everything is being tokenized. All of those transactions are going to have to settle, and they're going to be settled in the future through apps like these, and the market is huge. So that's what we built. Essentially, it works exactly like the existing infrastructure works with that middleman, but the whole middleman infrastructure with all of those clearinghouses, banks, brokers, common security deposits, and so forth, are replaced by simple smart contract. You enter the details of your transaction. When you do that, your assets are transferred to the smart contract. Then the other side, party B, has to confirm the transaction. And when party B does that, its assets here are transferred to party A. And at the same time, the smart contract transfers party A's assets to party B. So these two legs of the transaction occur simultaneously and or not at all. If party B doesn't confirm or transfers assets, party A can just get its assets back. Exactly like the existing systems function, but now without the overhead, just a smart contract. That's essentially it in a nutshell. And I'll hand over to Gabriel just to walk you through the app and demonstrate how it works. And that's it for me for now.
Sweet, guys. I'm just going to share my screen here quick. Lovely stuff. Yeah, so this is our platform. So when we started this, we actually split into two groups. We had a front-end part and then a back-end part. So that would deal with smart contracts and then the whole design team on the front. And then as we were going, connecting those two teams together and making it happen. So this is just the homepage. You go through here, it'll give you the steps that are involved for creating a settlement. The site is fully responsive. So as you can see over here, complete responsiveness for everything on all pages and everything like that. My MetaMask was giving me a little bit issue. I think it's because I'm live, but yeah, you would connect your wallet and you would go off to your main transaction dashboard. From here, I'll run you through everything soon, but we can create a trade. So we have agreed with Harold that we are going to create a trade. So we will put in Harold's address. We would say what asset we're trying to send. So we would like to send, let's say we want to send some ETH. Let's go 0.01. Which asset are we going to receive? We're going to send a token or an NFT. So this one over here will basically, we use the Alchemy SDKs to fetch tokens and NFTs from the counterparty's wallet. So if Harold is being a sneaky sausage and say that he's got something in there and he doesn't, like we can see it over here. Yeah, we could say we wanted that token in the agreement. Go through it over here. We'll have a time period. So when you want the transaction to be done by, entering your date and entering a time. Lovely stuff. Reviewing all your data. If it's not right, you can refresh, go back, see if it works. Let's go through and try and submit. It should be able to pop up with the MetaMask here. Yeah, sorry, I think it's just because we're on live. MetaMask is just acting up a tiny bit.
That's the law of live streams. Every tool will be slower if it's a live stream. That's just a physics law.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Or someone should just topple MetaMask, maybe.
Ooh. Now you're speaking the true truth. Okay, well, we'll wait for that to finish up on that side, but I can take you through the rest of the transaction list. Yeah. So on the top, you'll see anything that requires action from yourself. So obviously here I've got somebody who created a trade where I need to confirm. Each tab will show the counterparty, what asset you're going to receive, what asset you're going to send, the status of the asset. So as you go down, we could see the other trades I've made before. You could see this one was completed. Obviously, when a trade has expired, you can see once the deadline is expired, you can withdraw it. So over here, we can go into the transaction detail. Here, it will give you the entire transaction detail, date created, expiry dates, counterparties, addresses, IDs, assets to send, assets to receive, and it will give you actions according to that asset state. Going back over here. Yeah, with expiring trades, we set it up that it works off a Chainlink time-based automation. So we will have that running, like every hour, every 30 minutes. It will be able to check whatever trades need to be expired and do the relevant actions to it. We used quite a bit of different frameworks and stuff over here. We used Redux for state management. We did WAGMI for connecting wallets. A couple of other things that we used. But yeah, as you can see, the design and everything, the front end guys, tops to Menge and Rashikesh, you guys are wizards. They made it really, really pretty and really user friendly, when it comes down to it. Let me just check if my MetaMask has popped up here. It's the right thing. Oh no, it's giving problems there. But yeah, that's a basic overview of what goes down. Obviously going into the trade there, once we confirm a trade, both assets will be sent off to the parties. Once we create a trade, the asset you will send will be sent to the contract itself. And when the counterparty confirms, both assets will be transferred to the respective parties. Yeah, that's a basic demo of what we're going. I wish I could show you the MetaMask, but yeah, it's giving little problems.
Amazing. Thank you so much, guys. We are at time, but I will leave it open for, I'm sure, Dan, do you have a single question? I mean, there's a lot to go here. I'm like super stoked to see where you guys push this, but I'll leave it, Dan, with one question and we'll move on.
Let's make it a good one then. So I got a question for you guys. What kind of trades would you expect to go through here as opposed to going to an automated market maker like a Uniswap, because you could trade assets on a Uniswap, right? What kind of trades would you expect that you would post and have an expiration for that you would want a direct counterparty for, in these cases?
Yeah, shall I take that one, Gabriel?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I've kind of, you can use this for multiple things. You can use it for crypto native assets and DAI and the rest of it, just all those trades. But you can use the normal exchanges for that too. I really envisage apps like these coming about for the world to come in a very short period of time for trading real world assets. So there's a huge market of over-the-counter trades for equities and bonds and tokenized real estate, but also really things like energy and claims trading and all the rest of it. So for those kind of things, and at the same time, there are a number of projects out there to put normal, ordinary bank money on chain. And I know that might be swearing in this group a little bit, but for the masses, like the rest of the economy, people want to work with ordinary bank money, but it's not on chain. And as soon as it comes on chain, all of those use cases are going to materialize. All of those tokenized real world assets are going to be traded with, bank money on chain. So Citibank is working on a project. JP Morgan just released a report 2 days ago that they see the future being tokenized bank money, deposit tokens, they call it. The German banking industry is working on a project. So that's, and JP Morgan actually already did a test run on Polygon. So those types of trades, they are all going to be using apps like this. This is going to be the settlement tool for trading tokenized real world assets.
Wow, that's really cool. It's like an app in anticipation for these use cases. Yeah, that's amazing.
But I mean, you can use it for trading ETH or ETH and DAI or whatever. But there are already exchanges for that. But really, these types of things in by over the counter markets, these apps are gonna exist for those types of trades. So we'd really like to go take this to mainnet, even just for the experience of doing that, and pushing it to go live. We've got a whole list of further features. We'd really love to continue working together with this group because of the good fit and the bonding that occurred. We have a whole list of things that we'd want to continue working on. For instance, doing this cross-chain, you can use an escrow structure like this to do cross-chain transactions, which adds further value. You can use payment links through WhatsApp, so you improve the UX by sending the counterparty a link through WhatsApp that it can just click on and then confirm, and the trade is done. A whole bunch of things like that we'd still like to work on.
Amazing. Yeah, thank you guys. This is crazy that you were able to get to this level in such a short amount of time. It really just goes to show the hard work you guys have kind of put in over the past 10 weeks and the team you guys got behind you. There are additional questions in YouTube. So we're streaming on the Alchemy YouTube. So if you jump on there, you could probably see some of those questions. And if they don't populate, maybe just re-ask and we can, Al can reiterate them on YouTube for you. And then we're also streaming on Alchemy University LinkedIn. So I think a lot of people are super interested in this project and want to see where it goes. So definitely try to connect with them there. And again, everyone's Discords are here. So if you're interested in this project, connect with them here. And if you can't reach them and you want to talk to them more, reach out to one of us and we'll connect you with the team. And thank you so much, guys, for this presentation.
Thanks, guys.
This is sick.
Big ups.
Incredible
Big ups
presentation.
to you guys.
Thanks guys for the opportunity. Cheers.
Cheers, guys. Thanks.
Thank you.
I'll just say real quick, I love that they answered what was going to be my question that I like to ask. What are you going to do with this next? And Nico answered that masterfully. He and the team are going to take it to mainnet, which I loved. He said just for the experience of it. And that's amazing. That's awesome. So looking forward to that.
That would be really cool. It's almost like, I don't know, like taking it to mainnet sounds like, it's like this charge forward, right? It's like, how much cost are we going to incur, right? Like, are people going to use it? No, it's super awesome project. I can't wait to see where they go. I'm getting some ideas about how we can improve this kind of process going forward, giving people more time. And that also goes to say, everyone watching, if you have any feedback for us of how to deal with final projects going forward, what you liked, what you don't like, definitely hit us up either on Twitter or in Discord, either one of us on the stream today, and we'll do our best to make this a better process as we move forward. Continuing forward, we have Santi. I think I'm saying that right. Let me pull him on right now. How's it going?
Yeah. Do you hear me? Okay.
Yes, we hear you great. Am I saying your name correctly, Santi?
Okay. Yeah. It's okay. It's a Spanish name.
Gotcha.
Is that Santiago?
Yeah. It's that.
Cool.
Okay. So
basically.
Okay, as a presentation, my name is Santiago, and I'm a student in Barcelona. I started programming like 2 years ago, more or less, and with web development. And now, about 6 months ago, I started with Web3 and Solidity and all of that, and it's really my passion now. So yeah, I really love it. So yeah, basically, can I share my screen?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, you can see it.
Yes. There we go.
Okay. Yeah. So basically, what I've done, it's an extension of the ERC 721 standard. So, okay, basically the idea I've got, it was, I was following a Spanish NFT collection that the group of developers, they had a problem that they create many sub collections of tokens, like for example as a proof of attendance or as badges for the holders of the main collection. But the problem they had is that they had like one main collection and 3 sub collections, so the value it's like it was like diluted. So they decided to deploy like an ampliation, an extension to the standard, to the ERC 721 standard, that they call it the ERC 721 linkable standard. So yeah, what it allowed is that you could link the tokens of the linkable standard of that sub collection to tokens of the main collection. So then you have your NFT of the main collection, that is like your identity, for example, and you can have linked many tokens of the sub collections, like as your badges or as your achievements that you've done. But it was like it had one limitation, that ERC 721 linkable collection, it could only link its tokens to one parent collection. So I thought, what if you could link a token of a NFT collection to any NFT in the space, any ERC 731? So I made an extension of that it's called the ERC 731 multi-linkable, that it allows to, you can deploy NFT collection with this extension and link its tokens to any ERC 731 in the space. So yeah, it's really nice. I also made a little demo. Okay, you can see it?
Yep, we can see it.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, it's a little bit of front end to explain or demonstrate like how it works. So basically, what I've done here, this is you can see this on GitHub and run it on local. So what I've done here is I've like created a little story. Like in this story, you get a certification NFT for completing a Web3 course, for example, that you can get here in the web. Receive all certification NFT is this one. You can receive it, and then you can use it to mint a E7ML token that is the multi-linkable one. So here you can choose the token and you can mint it. But this is apart from the standard. The thing is that in this tab, here you can link it. So you can choose one. Here I have already minted some ones for this demo. So you can choose a E7ML certification, that it's a name I gave it. Like for this example, it's a multi-linkable standard. You can choose one token and link it to any NFT. For this front end, I've only applied to one collection that is called Token 1, but in Etherscan you can link it to any NFT you want. And finally here, in this tab, you can see your tokens, multi-linkable tokens, your unlinked ones, and the ones that are linked. And if you click in the ones that are linked, you can see the parent token. In this case, it's a test token I've created. Here is the child token and the parent token. And in this other, it's another token with the parent NFT. So yeah, it's really nice because I think it allows like a linking of NFTs. And yeah, basically that's it. So if you have any questions or something.
Yeah, would love to know what kind of use cases you're picturing for this, like outside of what you just showed us, if you have like any other use cases you're envisioning.
For example, I think if you complete a Web3 course a lot, right now they are drop you an NFT. that you can have in your wallet. Like, yeah, I've completed this course, so I have this NFT. But it would be nice, for example, that the NFT they are dropped to you is a multi-linkable one, because then you can link it to one of your main NFTs. So then you have, for example, if in your Twitter profile you have a Bored Ape that is like, I don't know, your identity in the blockchain or something like that, you can link like all your badges or achievements, completing courses, or I don't know, finding bugs in protocols, any achievements. Like it's can be represented in an NFT, but in a multi-linkable NFT, so that you can link it to one of your main tokens. And I think that's nice. You can see it also in a front end if it's well designed.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I guess, yeah, for the most part, I would be thinking of linking as like something you would almost do off chain, and then you would be able to, have linking through a website, through a database, something like that. But putting it on chain, you're kind of making an explicit choice, right? And then like you can do some on chain actions based on that. It seems to open up some interesting use cases, but yeah, I really like the idea.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Amazing project. Great presentation as well. I'll ask the question I meant to ask the last group, or I'd like to ask groups in general, is do you have any future plans for this project? Did you use it mainly to learn? Are you going to apply it to hackathons? What are you thinking?
Right now, I don't have any plans. I contacted the developers of the linkable standard, so to know what's their opinion and so. And right now, I'm focusing more in the. My goal in Web3 right now is to become a smart contract auditor. So I'm focusing more in the security part. But yeah, it's a nice project, and I think, I don't know, maybe I could deploy it on chain and give it a little bit of promotion and see if people like it or not.
Awesome. Yeah, that's a great goal, and I hope you guys have synergy there with that. What were they called? The labs team?
It's Rax Labs. Yeah.
Rax Labs. Awesome. Yeah, good luck with them. I'm sure you guys will find a lot of synergy there.
Thanks.
Yeah, I really like this project, because I feel like a lot of the times people come out of a course like this and they're like, oh, I got to build a dApp, right? Or like, what can I build? Like, and I don't know front end, right? And I feel like this is like a perfect opportunity to like figure out that there's other things out there within the ecosystem you can build on. Something like a standard, right? Like people don't really realize that you can just make a PR to one of these standards, right? Get involved with the community, talk with core devs, and kind of make those changes, or at least suggest those changes. So yeah, I thought this was super interesting. And I also like, in terms of a use case, I do kind of see a future where, depending on how much, what apps you use, let's say you have thousands of NFTs across different spaces, right? Being able to link them and sort them more easily. Like, I guess you could do that on a front end, but having it where you can just call a single function and it's like kind of sorting all those NFTs by itself, I think is pretty interesting for a standard like this. Yeah. So excited to see where kind of you go with this. And any other final questions for anyone?
Not on my side. Thank you so much for the presentation.
Yeah, great presentation, Santi.
Yeah,
thank you.
I'm glad you like it.
Awesome. Twitter and Discord down below if you guys want to get in contact with Santi. And yeah, give his project some love, and let's see if we can get it moved into the standard here.
Thanks, guys. See you.
Take care.
Let's go. Thank you.
Wow, just a really cool set of projects so far, man. This is amazing.
For real. I think I keep accidentally, if people are still watching that presented, I think I'm accidentally removing you from the entire stream instead of just removing you from the stream that people see. So I apologize if it says that I kicked you. I did not mean to. Anyway, so cool. We got our final presentation of the day here. Super excited for this one. We have, I'm going to have him pronounce his name because I don't want to mispronounce it. And I will bring him on right now. I see him laughing in the background. How's it going?
No. Wait. Hold on. I should show something.
Okay.
I mean, so regarding the names. So for me, it became a game, and I'm more like collecting mispronounced names in Starbucks.
Oh no! I just chose not to engage.
Just a second. I don't know if you guys can see. Can you see that?
I can see a mug.
I can see a mug. Yeah.
So it says Sylvester.
Sylvester. That's great. Great.
Yeah. So my real name is Sinaver. Like at least that's the way you can pronounce it in English. Or the British version would be Sineva. I mean that's a very British one. So I'm from Ukraine. I'm currently staying in Dubai. The weather is cool here till it gets closer to summer. So I'm a former engineering manager, and today is exactly, coincidentally, today is exactly 1 year since I left. So I took some break, and about 6 months, I decided that, okay, I think Web3 is the future. I stopped being skeptical. Before I was like, people just, like... and I started reading like white papers and stuff. And then at some point I realized I actually need to code a bit to understand what is it and so on. And luckily I was following Alchemy, and I just pressed the button and got this free access. So overall, this was a great experience. Thanks, guys. So as regarding the project, it's called Rebuilt and Rebuilt 3, just Web3. So initially, the scope of it was much bigger. So and I was so basically in Ukraine, there's a lot of like the war going on and this destruction. So I was thinking like it would be cool once the war is over to help people to rebuild the houses, all the destructions. And initial idea was that in this platform, you can create a story. Like you say like, okay, I have this and this to restore. And then you create like a multi rounds of funding for what you want to rebuild. And then like step by step, round by round, you're showcasing what you're able to rebuild. And people who donated the money have a vote to decide whether they like what you're doing and whether like you're really spending money for restoration, and so this way you could go on and so on. But since I'm more like a back-end guy and stuff, I realized that the front end was the biggest obstacle, and I had to learn. So literally in those 2 months, I had to learn JavaScript, TypeScript, Solidity, all the stuff. But I think it was a great experience overall. So today I'm going to show the very minimal version of that. So
it always is the hardest part that I hear is the front end and React. So great job getting to where you got to in 2 months.
Yeah. Sorry, how do I present? Show screen. Okay.
Once you share screen, I should be able to pull it up, but I'm not seeing anything yet.
Okay, just a second. Okay. To record the content, you have to quit. Oh shit. Later. Let's see. Sorry, guys.
It's all right. You're lucky the last one, or else I'd be docking your time.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Okay, I'm going to take a pillow. Okay. Can you see my screen? No.
No, I'm not seeing it being shared.
Okay. It seems like I need to restart the Chrome.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
We'll be here. Okay, now it's back to the trio.
People are loving your music, Cody. It's like at like the perfect volume too. I think you found it, whatever it is.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, they had some just basic tunes on here, so I was playing around with them before everyone jumped on. So I'm glad everyone's liking them.
You got so many great optimizations here. The little AU logo in the corner, and then the slider in the bottom. Those are both awesome.
Yeah, I messed around with it quite a bit.
So, is it there? No.
I'm not seeing it. No.
Look. It's unlocked.
Yeah, I use Brave as well.
Something I'm pushing in recent content videos is the test sandbox concept. So installing a whole new browser separate to the one you use and installing Apex Wallet onto it. And that's like your testing sandbox. So all that to say, Brave is the one I use for that.
Gotcha.
Okay. I think.
Oh, I see it.
Right.
Yes.
Let's go.
We did it.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
It's always the hardest thing. Great job. That's the presentation.
Okay. Can you see the slides?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Yeah, so basically it's called Rebuild, decentralized fundraising solution that helps global community to bring back what was destroyed. I think the biggest problem is that I actually found one platform, like a Web3 platform, to solve issue of the disaster relief, but they are more like targeting, like food, shelters, and all those things. But I didn't find anything for in a Web3 space to restore things. And the other aspect, I found that like all those fundraisings are not transparent, and and you don't have any, you're not part of the decision-making process wherever the fundraising platform is going. So this is what I created, is the Web3 smart, the solution which uses the Web3 smart technologies, which by default achieve accessibility, transparency, and with the DAO we can do all the fun stuff with vaulting and so on. So this is the app. It's fully responsive. You can have it on mobile or desktop. I'll show later on. This is the governance. So I use the OpenZeppelin library to create the Rebel governor contract, and Tally was used to interact with the governor through the user interface. So you see some of the proposals I created, vaulted against, and I mean, going forward, I'll show some like how it works in real. This is the next. Okay. So let's just go to. Can you see my screen, right?
Yep.
Okay. So this is a homepage with just some basic idea on what is this, with some explanation of how it works. In this case, it's a very simplified user submits campaign, validator approves fundraising, and then once donations are made, it releases the funds. There is a concept of regions and organizations. So regions basically where the fundraising is operating currently, and the validators, I envision those are the like NGOs or some organizations which can be one of those validators. So this is the tech stack I use. You guys can check further. So let's go to the app itself. So there's a bunch of sections here, and I should mention that as you see, we are not connecting to the application, but it's already pulling some information from our smart contract. So for that, I'm using the Alchemy for that particular reason. And then once you connect, like all these transactions are done by the provider within the wallet. So let's just go to fundraisers. So here is the list of like already created. There's some filters. You can filter out by the region, by let's say whether it's still pending, live, or fully funded, and so on. But there's no like new button. So let's just try it out. And here we see not MetaMask, right? This is a Magic. So I envision that a lot of people who are trying to rebuild things, might be not much familiar with the Web3 and having wallets. So I think like whether it's Magic or Web3 auth is quite useful for that. And now you can see, you can create a campaign, and this is what I would like to show. So you see the regions which are already approved, right? And like if you choose Ukraine, okay, there is some NGO here, but like if you choose Syria, there is no one, right? So, and this is where like the governance comes into picture, right? So I already pre-created like a proposal to add UNICEF to operate in Syria, and like since there's some earthquakes and so on, so okay, just a second.
You didn't want to share your password with us?
Okay, I'm back. Yeah, so I'm back. Okay. So one thing I found with Tali is maybe they're not using Alchemy. I don't know for their notes. Maybe they're using something else. So what I noticed that once you approve transaction, so like even if it's not let's say pending, it takes a bit more time to visualize in their UI. I think that's the only problem I noticed so far. So you see, now we have UNICEF here, and now if you want to create, let's say, new campaign, Syria, we have UNICEF, let's say rebuilt house, and there's 1 ETH, and say we submit. But you know what happened? We got an error. And the reason is because this guy is a validator itself. So you cannot create campaign, you cannot submit campaign and then become the approver, a validator for that, right? So let's just turn off the magic so we can connect, let's say, yeah, with this one. And now we create rebuild.
It's cool that you showcased like an edge case there, and I feel like it was on accident. But
no, it wasn't. Like it's very hard to keep track of all this.
No, but it's a good thing. I mean, it's a good thing.
No, I mean, one thing I want to do specifically, but the problem is that the time passed. So I have a proposal here to increase. So there's one of the other let's say, state in the contract is how much you can raise. And just before the presenting, I submitted the 5eth to show how I would, let's say, vote here, right? And then, but then it passed, like, because the contract is just it has a 10 minutes period, so I will not be able to showcase that. But I want to show, like, okay, let's say you're trying to raise 10 ETH, but you cannot, and then you approve the governance increases the threshold, and then voila, you can do that now. But I guess we cannot wait for 10 minutes, so let's keep it. Yeah, so the pictures are actually uploaded to IPFS. And, it takes time. I'm going to grab a cup of coffee.
Yeah, I feel like there is a market for like someone to make plugins for like when a transaction's loading, like load games or something like that.
Okay, yeah. So we are good. Like if you open this one, like, okay, but there are like no one has donated yet, right? Because it's still in a pending state. So let's connect with our magic. And the cool thing about the magic, so it actually gives you like inside wallet. So like if you click here, like you get a full like a full UI. You can send ETH, and also you can actually transfer the secret key in the wallet, like in the MetaMask wallet. Once you decide to stop using it, this is something I like. So let's see, and let's see, assign to me, right? Okay, because I'm a validator. No, not this guy. What's going on? I think we found a bug. Wait. So, and hold on. This is Syria. Okay, sorry. Okay. We were not connected. And this is one of the other examples that, like, NGOs, let's say they don't want to create a wallet, right? So they can just use their corporate email login through the magic and just operate through that.
We do have to close up here in a few minutes, just as a heads up. So I'm not sure if you're close to the end of your demo.
Okay, yeah, I think it's, yeah. So here then you can just, let's say, donate, and yeah, like it basically will show you the same thing, like whether you have some people donated or not. Yeah, I guess we can settle stop here.
I didn't want to interrupt your flow at all, Senator. This was amazing. I mean, I got to say, like, everyone's blown away by your front end skills, especially after saying that you didn't have any front end development experience before this. I would love to like just one question. Cody gives me one question.
Yeah,
I'd love
sure.
to just know your tech stack for like the front end and like, I mean, are you using a database as well here to like kind of cache some of these?
No, so again, because I had to learn a lot of stuff from scratch, so I realized, like, I mean, for example, there's like whether the way I process the events, right, from the contract. And sometimes, like, I found the problem that the duplicates are coming, right? So for that, it would be cool just to use some backend, right, or some other, or even the images, right, and some other stuff. But I would say it would be probably too much for me to implement. So I just went with a very simple version. So here is just a front end and the smart contracts. And for the front end, I use React, TypeScript, and MUI, or how do you pronounce it? Like the Material UI.
Oh, Material UI. Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Do you plan on taking this project forward? It feels very complete. Like you are very serious about it.
Like I think so. I think one of the cool thing would be maybe to contact NGOs and like whether they would be interested to be part of that, and how they see solving like those problems as well. And this is one part of it, right? The other part of it, like, how do you make sure that the person who is submitting to rebuild something actually the guy, right? So it would be cool if you had some, like kind of, I know there's a Gitcoin passport where you can get stamps, and ultimately, if your let's say government ID supports some kind of integrations, right, or banking system, technically you can get a stamp that, hey, you are from this country, you are who you are. But then that's a bit more complicated. So it's more about, I think now at this point, to collect feedback and see if it's worth it going forward or not. If not, I would just probably leave this project as a like kind of a zoo where I can integrate a bunch of Web3 technology and play around. Like one of the things I want to integrate is end-to-end encryption here. Let's say where validators can communicate with the submitters, right? For whatever reasons, like, hey, I need some proof that you are actually you are the owner of this house, right, and so on. But you don't want to keep it public. So this would be one of the coolest things to do.
Well, if this is what your app looks like when you're just playing around with some technologies, I'm excited to see what you build next. This is absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for presenting it.
Yeah. Thanks, guys, for the experience.
Amazing project. Thank you so much. Great presentation. And yeah, echoing Dan, incredible exponential learning of so many technologies on one. Incredible.
Yeah, really impressed with the project here, with the amount of tech that you've kind of learned in the past few months. I think the app looks great. The front end is super clean. So definitely give yourself a pat on the back for that. And yeah, I'm excited to see where this goes. I think that it's always pretty tough when you start incorporating like off-chain actions, right? With on-chain actions. There's not many people that have solved that problem yet. And I know there's a lot of people that are out there that are working on this, like, funding public goods. And so definitely connect with like a lot of the teams, like, I know Gitcoin does a lot of this, as you mentioned. There's a few projects I can't think off the top of my head yet or right now, but that, work in this direction. It might be worth like trying to partner with them if this is something, you're really focused on. Because I think you've built a great app here and it's a good like playground or, something else that you want to extract out of it for a bit more production. But yeah, thank you so much for presenting.
Thank you, guys.
Check out his Cinevere, right? Cinevere. Sorry, I apologize. Check out his Twitter and Discord if you want to learn more about this project below. And yeah, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Bye. Have a good
Bye.
day.
Thank you.
Thanks, Cinevere.
I always do that. I don't know how to remove people from the stream without kicking them. and I don't mean to do that, but I think I just did it again. But yeah, what do you guys think of today's projects? I'm blown away.
Yeah, no, me too. Just amazing. I mean, all of them were super freaking cool, and there was a good like variety of things too.
Yeah.
Yeah, really polished projects too on the front end, and yeah,
Very impressed. Yeah, what we had fundraising and DAOs. We had standards. We had an NFT game project. We had like EVM byte manipulation, which insane learning project, virtual EVM, right? And then
trust me too. But, oh man,
yeah,
cool.
wild. And there's so many other good projects that I saw, and it's just clearly we planned for an hour, and it's been an hour and a half. So I think there's some things that we could do to improve this process for the students. With that said, if anyone has any comments, I know I said this earlier, any feedback for what you want to see with us doing with this, hit us up on Twitter, hit us up on Discord, and we will do our best to make that happen for you guys in the community. And then I just have two more things to mention. Definitely follow those projects that presented today. Check them out. We will do like a postmortem. I don't know if that's the right term here. Post presentation probably makes more sense. Kind of tweet and information gathering and like share all those projects again to you, to the community and you guys. So keep on the lookout for that. And then secondly, we have a few initiatives that are coming up. There's something next week. There's gonna be a hackathon information that we're releasing. Can't say anything now. But definitely as a next step after your projects, join hackathons. Like any of these projects, you go to a hackathon, you're winning prizes or you're winning the hackathon. Like they were that good. You really go to these hackathons and you build something and really dive in and you're trying to make an impact. Like you're gonna walk away with something positive, whether that's prizes or something to build or a company to start building. So definitely recommend jumping to hackathons. We got ETH Denver coming up in 2 weeks. We're all going to be there. Well, Dan won't be, but me and Al will be. We have other ETH Global events coming up for hackathons. And then lastly, we actually just released, I got my dog here begging me to feed him, so I do have to leave soon. I'm going to post this in the channel, Alchemy SDK Developer Challenge. We just released this yesterday. Al, I don't know if you want to quickly chat about this.
Yeah, I mean it's just a good. Basically, we could call it an Alchemy SDK course. So if you don't know what the Alchemy SDK is, it's basically ethers.js, but much cooler because it has all of Alchemy's enhanced APIs. So we're going to be releasing some more content on the Alchemy SDK to onboard you to what a fantastic tool that is for Web3.
Amazing. Yeah, and there's prizes associated with that. It goes on. So it started yesterday. It goes on until March 7th. So definitely like submit your projects you just did, create new projects, integrate with the SDK and learn something new. But I think that's it for today before my dog starts biting at my ankles. I appreciate everyone for joining today and participating and showing some love to the great projects that we have. I can't wait to do this again. I feel like every time we get projects submitted, I just get like through the roof excited. Seeing all these excellent ideas, and it gets me even more excited for ETH Denver and all the other hackathons going on this year. So yeah, feel free to reach out to us again. Let us know what you guys think, how we can make this better. Any final comments or anything from Al or Dan here?
Thank you to all the presenters. Those projects were amazing. And thank you to everyone out there who submitted a final project. We have looked through all of them, and there's some awesome projects out there that didn't get to present today.
Yep.
Really awesome stuff, and we're really excited to showcase some more of those projects as time goes through.
That's one thing I'll hit on before I pass it off to Al if he has anything, is certificates. We will be distributing certificates in the next coming weeks. I apologize for them not being ready yet. They will be ready. You guys will be getting certificates. We've looked at every project and we will be certifying those projects that have met the requirements. So just keep a lookout for that on your email, but just give us a little bit more time as we continue to make this process the best we can for you.
Yep, just echoing you guys. Fantastic projects. Thanks to all the presenters. You guys are so brave. It's tough to do it on the live stream, man. You guys are awesome. Thanks for presenting, and so looking forward to better reviewing all the projects that have been submitted and looking at all the future projects that will be submitted. Thanks, everybody.
Awesome. Well, with that, I'm going to make the music a little bit louder as we end this stream today. Let's go! We'll see you guys later. Have an excellent day, and thank you so much again. Bye-bye.
Hey, everybody.